Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 1090 Jake, man. I'm rocking with y'all rocking with me. And for this video, we're going to be speaking on an alleged gang initiation that turned deadly, and the whole thing was recorded on live. November 1st, 2021, a video was live streamed to social media and quickly recorded, then shared across multiple platforms as it shocked viewers by the thousands. A white male in a hotel room can be seen sitting his phone up as the live is being recorded. Chicago rapper Lil Durk can be heard playing in the background as the white man throws up the rakes, a gang sign symbolizing a pitchfork. Then he throws up a 6-point star while saying, "Yeah, folk, what's good, G?" as he talks to the live. Both the gang signs and the terminology are associated with the Gangsta Disciples, a gang hailing from Chicago. As he does this, a black male appears outside of the doorway on the second floor balcony of the hotel. With a black bandana over his head, the white male can barely be heard over the music, asking, "Yeah, what's going on?" It's difficult to make out the conversation between the two as the music plays, but at one point you can hear the black man at the door saying, "Come on, bro," and it seems there's an issue between the two. I'll take a wild fucking guess and say Slim Jesus is playing music way too loud in a hotel room with his door open in the middle of cold ass Grand Rapids, Michigan. The internet disciple can be heard saying, "Come on, folk," as the black man leans into the door saying, "What?" And he either didn't hear him or was in disbelief this white kid was even speaking like that. They'd exchange words once more before the white man turns back towards the live, lifting his hoodie as he drew a gun from his waistband before turning towards the man at the door, who immediately took off running. The gunshots were fired slowly, about 1 to 2 seconds apart, and each time the gun fired, an explosive snap would echo throughout the hotel. The man's screams could be heard, his begging getting louder as each bullet was fired into his body. After the 5th shot, he could be heard saying, "Ah, fuck," before being shot 2 more times. That's when the white man runs back into the room and the live recording ends. It was just after midnight when the police department received a call for shots fired at the Grand Rapids Inn on the corner of 28th Street. Arriving on scene, they found a black man dying from multiple gunshot wounds outside of the hotel. He was identified as 38-year-old John Kane Jr., a father, community mentor, and football coach. But on that night, he was hotel security. Management had asked him to expel a man off the property for unruly conduct and playing loud music. John Kane was pronounced dead at the scene, and his body would remain there for hours as investigators processed what had happened. A second call came into the police shortly after arriving at the hotel. It was another shooting directly across the street from the hotel plaza. A frantic mother had called saying she found her son dead. Police would arrive identifying 21-year-old Jacob Grigorzik dead from suicide as blood pooled from the fresh hole in his head. His mother told police this wasn't his first suicide attempt, it was just his last. Back in April of 2020, Jacob had overdosed on Xanax and alcohol, leaving a note apologizing to his family, saying he'd wanted to kill himself since he was 16. A social worker filed a petition seeking involuntary hospitalization after Jacob acknowledged he tried to kill himself and wanted to die. He was being treated in a psychiatric medical unit and diagnosed with depression, suffering from extreme self-blame and guilt. In 2017, he'd be sentenced to 92 days in a sober program after pleading guilty to attempted unlawful use of a motor vehicle. In 2020, he was sentenced to 10 days in jail for resisting arrest and fined $200. And that same year, a domestic violence conviction would land him 93 days in jail and 12 months probation. It wasn't until the video went viral that police made the connection. It was Jacob that had been recording himself in the hotel room that was only a 2-minute walk from his house. The video had been streamed live from Facebook and shared to Snapchat before making its way to other platforms, and John Kane, the man who was shot dead, his 8-year-old daughter would see the video before alerting her grandfather, who drove to the hotel as his son's body laid there while investigators processed the scene. Why Jacob was in the hotel room isn't clear, as rumors he suffered from drug addiction point towards he may have been there using, but the news reports would paint an entirely different picture. An ex-gang member turned minister spoke with the news, detailing the gang signs, the bandana, and terminology heard on the video. He claimed this was a gang initiation, as the gangster disciples have used murder as a means of initiation for years, whether on an enemy or a random person. He believes Jacob intended on recording the murder, meaning this was premeditated and already went down in Jacob's head before it happened. Jacob's obituary read, he succumbed to the silent illnesses of depression and anxiety, suffering in the darkness of a deep, inexplainable pain, and is now at rest in God's arms. It isn't clear what traumatic event Jacob went through for his mind to be so dark, but after an 8-year-old little girl had to watch a video of her father's life being taken, something tells me Jacob is now in the darkest place he's ever been, and suicide can't get him out. Now this is what happens when Ruger lets the GDs in the door, right? This kid is for some reason on live throwing up these pitchforks, throwing up his 6-point style. What's up, G? What's up, folk? He a goofy, blah, blah, blah. All that Chirac shit, right? We in Michigan, so I mean, they're not that far apart. I heard Michigan's flooded with GDs. And, you know, whether the 10-day stint in jail or the 93-day stint in jail had an impression on him and he realized he wanted to go from school shooter to gangbanger, then, you know, I guess I can see that happening, and he either was a GD or thought he was a GD and thought that this was going to get him some cool points. I don't know. It seems to me that this kid was just destructing and found a different route to destruct. Instead of just knocking himself off, he decided to hurt somebody else and maybe couldn't handle the reality of what he'd just done, so he went and knocked himself off. And no disrespect, but in all honesty, I mean, I like to keep shit 1,000. If someone was asked to draw a picture of a school shooter, it would most likely look just like this kid, right? Weird, depressed, fucking, I mean, even at the birthday party, nobody looked happy. It just, I don't know. I'm not really surprised by his actions. I'm just surprised by what took place. As far as an ex-gang member claiming that this was a gang initiation because it seemed he was trying to get the security guy to come in the room so he could do it in the room on camera. And it's very strange that he wanted this done on camera. You don't really see that either. You might catch a suicide on live leak. But for someone to murder somebody on camera, it's just not normal. And it's horrible to hear that that man's daughter saw the fucking video. Obviously, I'm not playing it on YouTube. I wouldn't be able to play it on YouTube for a couple of different reasons. But I'm sure you can find the video if you want to see it. And you'll hear the man screaming in between the shots being fired. It isn't fair how he went out at the end of the day. And there's no justice in it. It's just something that happens. You know what I mean? It's not like the family can seek justice because the kid is already dead. They just have to come to terms with what happened, why it happened, how this could be prevented. But the family was very clear on letting it be known this kid suffered a shitload of mental trauma. I don't know why he wasn't kept in the hospital, because he sounds like he's on some Michael Myers type shit and just needs to be kept somewhere. But for some reason, he wasn't in captivity. They let him back out, and then he did this. Didn't release information on how the fuck he got the gun, on why he was in the hotel. One report actually said he was with somebody else. We don't know if it was another internet disciple or what the fuck was going on. But at the end of the day, this is a terrible situation. A father, a mentor, a football coach lost his life. I'm gonna have his GoFundMe pinned in the comment section if you would like to donate towards the family, towards his child, and towards the funeral expenses. But hey, it's 1090 Jake. I'm rocking with Charlie. Y'all rocking with me. Till next time.